Well, this is when I first came to Hamburg back in 1992. As you can see, I arrived on the ferry that went from Harwich in England to Hamburg. It's a long journey up the Elbe. Takes about 5 hours to travel up the Elbe because you have to go slowly because, as you know, when a ship sails fast, it goes lower. So they've got to go slowly so they don't hit the sand dunes on the bottom. And they're always dredging it anyway to try and clear it as much as they can. This is the ferry I was on back in 1992. Somebody on board, one of the workers, told me that President Clinton had just been inauguration. So you can see that's how far back it goes. As you can see, the ferry is now turning to make its way to the dock. This ferry doesn't come up the Elbe nowadays. They've stopped doing it. In fact, now they only go to Cuxhaven, which is on the edge of the Elbe. So anybody wants to go to Hamburg now has to go to Cuxhaven. Same with returning. If you want to go to England, can't go from here anymore. Got to go to Cuxhaven, which is, I think it's Holland, isn't it? It's a long journey from Harwich. It's about 22 hours. It's about as long as I was on the airplane going to Australia. Leaves England about 3-4 o'clock and arrives in Hamburg around the same time, I think. I'm somewhere on that deck. The guy filming this should have zoomed in. I'm somewhere on that deck. This is the now the ferry's docked. This is where the transport goes in and out from the ferry. I had a brilliant experience here. You'll see the security guards or the customs people in a minute, and when we drove through, I couldn't speak a word of German, and I was we had an English van, so I was on the wrong side, so the customs man approached my side thinking I'm the driver, because they drive on the left, and he started talking to me in full German, and I panicked. It reminded me of the film The Great Escape. You know, there he is, there's the guy. The Great Escape, when he was getting on the bus and he said, "Good morning," and he said, "Morning." He said, "No, good luck," wasn't it? He said, "Good luck." "Oh, thanks very much." And I felt, when he spoke to me, if I opened my mouth, I'd get arrested. That was my fit. I didn't know a word of German, not one word back then. So here the vehicles now are coming off. And that blue van, that's me and Rolf. We're in that blue van. And now we're making our way following Werner, who actually took that film. And this is Vonsbeck, because that's where we stayed with his relatives, Werner and Maren, in Vonsbeck Gartenstadt. That's the U-Bahn underground, German underground. And now we're on our way. Remember, I'm brand new in Germany. This is all very strange to me. And we're travelling down, heading towards the city centre. I was amazed by the cars. Look at the cars. They're all parked on the. They've got space on the pavements for cars to park, which leaves the roads quite clear. And there's also a cycle path along these pavements. I think we did Germany a favour when we bombed them, destroyed their town, because they was able to rebuild and make it more modern. I mean, look, there's a cycle path there on the right. Yeah, there you go. And plenty of space for parking off the road, and the roads are quite clear. See, our roads in England, they're like horse and cart roads built before even the Victorian days. This is what I found strange my first arriving. All these shops with foreign names, and I didn't understand a word of it. So I wanted to go home right now. Look at. But I love the buildings in Germany. That's the Spiel Hall. That's the gambling place. Spiel, play, Hall, obviously, hall. That's where they get fruit machines. There's me, look, saying hello to you. Hi! And now we're approaching the large cemetery in Hamburg. I have made a film about this for the Remembrance Day, where I've filmed the German war graves as well as the British and Canadian graves. But this is a very large graveyard in Hamburg. Buses drive through it, traffic drives through it. And that's where the mass graves that I mentioned in my other video, where after the firebombing, lots of German civilians perished, and they built a mass grave in the shape of a cross with all the wooden beams marking areas like Barmbek of where people died, because it wasn't just the city of Hamburg, it was on the outskirts too. It was just like the same today, just bombing innocent civilians. So now on the road again, heading towards the city. Again, this was all very strange to me. You know, not just driving on the right. I mean, I drove, but I didn't drive in Germany. I thought I'm bound to turn a corner and go on the left side, so I didn't risk driving down there. Rolf did all the driving. That's obviously a bus station. But notice how. You know, I thought it was amazing. And notice also no potholes. No potholes, look. The roads are clear. You know, we have a go at the Germans, but they are organised, don't they? Especially with their roads, their cycle paths, parking, off-road parking. Look at it. It's brilliant. We need to be bombed to be able to build again. And get rid of our stupid tiny roads for horse and carts. That's a big store, Karstadt. It's a very popular store, sell everything in there. And they do a great display, a Christmas window display, which I've shown in another video. And they do it every year. People can look forward to it. Yeah, this road is all like Niki Lauda. They bomb on down here, and there's lots of traffic lights. So they stop and start, and as soon as it goes chance to go, they really take off like the Brands Hatch, like they're ready to go. So now, getting closer to the centre of the town. Yeah, look how clear these roads are, and look how pothole free they are, and the pavement's the same. When you see my videos when I go around on my scooter, and you might complain, oh, my videos are shaking. Well, that's because of the blooming pavements. It's potholes, it's like going over an assault course everywhere I go. But look how smooth those pavements and roads are. See, they have a rule in Germany. If somebody digs up the road, they got to put it back the way it was, not leave a little patch. Notice how clear they are. Look, it's brilliant, isn't it? I sound like that bloke on TV. Brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant. But it is brilliant. Now we're in the centre of Hamburg. This is the main area. That's the Hauptbahnhof there. That's the main railway station. That's what Hauptbahnhof means. Main railway station. Every city like Berlin that has a Hauptbahnhof, and this is Hamburg Hauptbahnhof. And as you can see inside this, well, it's like a shopping mall, isn't it? They've got shops all through it. And obviously eating places, including McDonald's, although McDonald's weren't that popular because Germany has lots of other eating places. They like their fish. And there's a lot of places where they sell like different specialities of fish. Even raw fish, which I never tried. They normally don't like people to film in the Hauptbahnhof. But Werner, Rolf's cousin, as you'll see later on, when the time shot comes up, he went down there very early in the morning. But see, this is very early when camcorders were around. They weren't like today. And people are a bit nervous of filming. And I can remember my mum being told off by a security guard in a shopping mall, in Aldershot. She was filming family, and a security guard came up, told her to stop. In all fairness, behind the family she was photographing, there was a big expensive jewellery shop, but my mum was 90. I don't think she was planning a heist. Mind you, someone did not long after pensioners, didn't they? Was it the Brinks rob? No, not the Brinks. But they did a big robbery where they stole lots of money. So maybe he was looking ahead. Yeah, this is very early in the morning. You see the cleaners are out. See, these days, although they didn't back then, like people filming inside buildings, but these days everybody's got a camera on their phone, so I don't think they can stop it. But back then they didn't like it. And I was nervous too, filming, because especially filming people's faces, because I was worried about intruding on their privacy. But you know, look at YouTube. People have been photographed everywhere. It's the same when they say about filming kids. Well, you can't help it if you're filming, like when I'm filming in Bournemouth, and kids come along, you know, you're not going. So it's very difficult to control. This is outside the Hopping Off, and there's a very famous hotel here called the Atlantic Hotel. And there's a James Bond film where he actually was in the Atlantic Hotel, and later did some stunts down at the harbour, which you'll see later, I'll mention. At the moment I can't think of the film, but I think it's Pierce Brosnan, wasn't it? Was it Pierce Brosnan? But they filmed in Hamburg, and I think he flew from a high building into a Hertz when he returned the car. Crashed into the Hertz. This is all around, outside the Hopping Off. Up this street we're heading to, I'll explain it later. There's a cinema that I used to go to because they showed English films. Well, this is back in the shopping area. When the ferry used to sail into Hamburg, many British people used to do day trips, especially around Christmas, well mostly Christmas. And the ferry used to drop them off, the coach used to drive them around here, and they used to do their Christmas shopping, go around the Christmas markets and spend all their money, and then the coach would take them back to the ferry and they'd go back home again. Now it's not going to be so easy, because as I said, the ferry drops them all off at Cuxhaven, which is quite a way away. I'm not sure what they do now. Yeah, it's up that road where the English cinema is. When I say English cinema, it was the only cinema where you could watch English films, or not English films, films in English, because all the other cinemas were dubbed in German. But at this cinema you could watch English films. And a lot of Germans used to go there because a lot of Germans wanted to learn English, so they used to go there. In fact, the Germans are better at speaking English than we are at speaking other foreign languages. In fact, they often learn Spanish as well. Hamburg. city. This is where we are. I love the buildings around here. And when you think that Hamburg was firebombed, completely destructive, and yet the buildings are still there. The thing is, because they were firebombed, they burnt out, and so the structure remained. So they just rebuilt them inside, kept the building. Unlike we did in England, we just tore them down. We broke them down, but they restored them. And all these buildings, you wouldn't know it. The only thing you notice when you're in the Hamburg city, which I might mention later on when you see it, is the trees. They're all young trees. You know, especially where I live in Bournemouth, there's a lot of old trees, a lot of old oak trees and that. Been there hundreds and maybe thousands of years. But they're all probably, well, no doubt, burnt out in the firebombing. So all the trees you'll notice are, well, 75 years old. And no more. Yeah, it's around here, the cinema I go to. It was 1992 and I saw Titanic. Hang on. Yeah, this is Radio Hamburg. This is just their recording studio. And yeah, I was saying, I saw Titanic at that cinema, and I also saw Amistad, 1992. So they showed recent films, and it was quite popular. No, with Germans as well as English people like me. And now we're back at the docks. The Elbe, Hamburg docks. I said Hamburg docks. I should have said Hamburg Harbour, or in German they call it Hamburg Hafen. There's a big container section behind here, one of the largest that there is. I was going to say the world, but I better not say that. I haven't got my facts straight, but I was told it was the largest in the world. Hamburg container docks, where all the ships arrive. It's a free port. That in front of you can see that dockyard where the ships get fixed and repaired. You'll see it later on, but it was painted. I've showed it before in other videos, but somebody put a lovely mural, or I wouldn't call it graffiti, it was better than graffiti, and they decorated it all, of all goes on in Hamburg, and it was there for ages while I was there. But then some Jobsworth was told to paint the docks, and he wouldn't paint it over it. He got rid of it. He painted it all green. Yeah, now we're at the fish market. Oh, here we go. See, there's a thing in Hamburg where it's a tradition. People, they start off at the Reeperbahn. And they go around. It starts on a Friday night at the Reeperbahn. Or is it a Saturday? And then they got to go to the old Elb tunnel, I think. It's like a thing. Oh, and then they got to go to other areas in Hamburg, and they got to do this tour, and they get drunk, and then they end up at the fish market. And the guy you saw there, completely worn out, he'd done the tour, and you often see that. Yeah, these are the boats that take you around the harbour. I've been on a few while I was out there. It's interesting because they take all around. In fact, you can even go further because the Elbe splits off into many canals that go right through Hamburg, and you can do trips up there. It's a great holiday destination if anybody wants to go out there. Been on that train, U-Bahn actually, not train, overground train. It goes right past the harbour. Keep saying harbour, yeah, harbour, Hafen, yeah. It's a nice place to walk around the harbour, and many eating places there. Obviously, mostly serving fish. And that's the Rickman's Rickworth. That's been there for yonks. It's just like our Victory, HMS Victory. It's just there for people to walk around and visit. It doesn't go anywhere, it just stays there, like a monument. This is where the old Elbe tunnel is around this area. It's closed. I don't know if they open it or is it closed permanently. Again, I'm only a tourist. But I've never seen it open, and I've never known anybody to drive through it. Now this area is interesting because these buildings around here, see the graffiti, graffiti, it's lovely graffiti though, isn't it? I don't know if it's still there now, because remember, this is 1992. But there was a bit of a rebellion. This is before I arrived there. Because I'm not sure if they were, not this building, but the building there with the graffiti there, that one. Yeah. I'm not sure if they were squatters, but they're rebellious students. And they took over the place. And this is long before I went over there. And they had a big police raid where they tried to get Freiheit, freedom. And they tried to get rid of them. But they fought them off. They fought the police off. I don't know if that's still there now, but I love the graffiti there. I hope they haven't got rid of that. But they were like, maybe students, I don't know. I don't know who they were, probably students, but I think they're all squatters. And they took over the building, and they were rebellious. Well, you know what students are like. There's a flag there flying. You can't see what it is. I think it's a Hamburg flag, but it's red, so it might be a... No, I don't think it's a communist flag, but it's red. So, but Hamburg's flag is red too. Yeah, this is the fish market when they've all packed up and they chuck all their stuff they can't sell, and then we'll go off, because it's every Sunday, the fish market, and opens up early and closes around midday, and they just chuck everything out that they didn't sell, and you get the people coming around collecting it all up. You make good stews and knock up good, it's all free. So they go around, and it's well known, like scavengers, like seagulls. They go around picking up stuff, which is okay, because although it looks a mess, the guys come round afterwards and clear it all away. Make it clean again. That's the regular thing they do. But meantime, people go around getting fruit and vegetables and that's been turfed out. All amongst that lot, they go around. And this is a famous, I don't know what they call it. There you are, there's the sign. It's brilliant there. It's a venue. And you get music playing, rock bands from Hamburg rock bands. You don't get top people, but you get regular top in Germany, in Hamburg, bands playing there. And they've got a stage at each end. So when one band wants a break, everybody goes over to the other end. And they start again. Till they have a break, then they go back to the other side. And it's very lively, it's very entertaining. And they serve food there. So you can eat and drink, be merry. They've got all the tables laid out with the Steiners, and after you've been to the fish market, you can have a great time there, having a drink, having a dance, having something to eat. But the people who probably did the all-nighter, probably worn out, as you saw earlier. But if they're strong enough, they would make this too. So they'll finish it off with a few more drinks. There was a report I saw on YouTube where this whole place got flooded out, completely flooded out. Well, I suppose the Elbe must have rose. Because it does get very... I think compared to UK, you could equal Hamburg to Manchester in distance. So it does get pretty cold up there, in fact even colder. I remember one year my late mother came out to visit, and it was -23. And this elb froze, they had to get the icebreakers out. So it does get cold out there. And it definitely snows every Christmas, guaranteed. Snows every Christmas. But they're organised, like I said before, with their roads. It's all cleared early in the morning. Pavements as well as roads, all cleared. No traffic gets held up, no trains get held up. You know, say what you say about the Germans, they are definitely organised. You know, all this lot gets cleared away once the people have finished rooting through it. It looks like they already have. Oh, hang on a minute. I think we've got a couple here. Yeah, we've got a couple here having a go. With shears anyway. He looks bored, doesn't he? He's thinking, look at he's looking at his watch. I want to be somewhere else. Right, now we're into the city centre. As you can see, that picture there, that's how Hamburg was. Now this was filmed in 1998. That's why I mentioned in the video. So it's 92 to 98, and this is 98. And this is the Christmas. I have filmed this, but I wanted to include it because I wanted to show Hamburg. This is what this video is about. It's about Hamburg, not about Christmas. And there's a Hoppenhof. That's like the town hall. It's like the town hall. Not Hoppenhof. Did I say Hoppenhof? No, not Hoppenhof. Ralph. Oh dear, I've lost the words. Rauthaus, that's it, Rauthaus. Germans are probably cussing me now. That's the Rauthaus. That's like, well, it's the main house, isn't it? It's where the council and all the big wigs of Hamburg sit and chat and moan and complain. And that's the Fernseh Tower. Fernseh means it's television, German for television. I've been there, I've been up there. It's a hell of a height. It doesn't look it when you look at it from here, but it's very high. You're going to have a good view of Hamburg from there. I did do some bungee jumping from there once when I was out there. And there was one woman, young girl, she changed them, you had to pay to do it, and she changed her mind. I heard they just pushed her off, but she enjoyed it. They don't muck around, the Germans, they don't muck around. Yeah, this is Neue Wall. I'm not really sure what that means, Neue Wall. Germans will probably explain it more to me. It might have been a different part of Hamburg, but they call it a Neue Wall. And it's like another shopping centre. It's just as busy. This Rauthaus, I went in there, but you can only look around certain buildings. It's not all open, but you can go in there. They often have exhibitions in there, different things. It's a very vast area around here, lots of space, isn't there? Notice they don't have car parking in that area. If I look at our council place, it's full of car parking in that area, but no, they keep it all free, open. Lovely shot of the Fernseh Tower again. They've got a lift there that takes you up the top and it whooshes up there. You can feel the G as it shoots up there. There's two lakes in Hamburg. One is called the Alster, the main one, and the other is called the Binnen Alster, which is obviously smaller. And this is filmed around the Binnen Alster. And those buildings along the side, they're like in the Venetian style. You know, you sit outside, or lots of restaurants. Yeah, that's the Binnen Alster. And they sit outside there and they can view, lovely sort of spot to have a meal. Very quiet and peaceful there. When I first went out to Germany, I couldn't speak a word, but I slowly got my way around. I was out there for almost 10 years. I didn't learn fluent German, but I learned enough to get around. What I call Urlaubdeutsch, which is holiday. Yeah, this is a cenotaph. I don't know if they have parades there, like they do with the cenotaph in London. But that's a monument to the, but it's mostly to the people, it's not to soldiers. And if you notice, I mentioned it in my film, that they said 37,000 were killed in the firebombing, but that monument did say 50,000, which is what the plaque says outside the mass grave. So there's a bit of dispute there. Google says 37,000, but Hamburg says 50,000. Either way, it's a sad loss, isn't it, of civilian people. Yeah, this is inside the Neue Wall. This is a shopping area around there. Again, lots of space. It's a wide area. I don't even think London has such a wide area where people can walk and mingle. And they're not shopping precincts, it's just normal. As you can see, it's Christmas, so you see the Christmas lights. Because I went out there in November, so it was coming up to Christmas when I went out there in 1992, but this is 1998. I filmed later. I like the lights in Hamburg because they're not all different coloured lights. They're simple, just white lights. That's all you need. You don't need all these flashy, like they have in the USA, all these different coloured lights. Just white lights. It's nice. And along this strip, they put, look, the lights are in the trees, look, all white lights. Just simple. You don't overdo it like the Yanks do. Flashing lights and tinsel and all that. Just keep it simple. But again, notice the trees, all young trees. We're now approaching what I mentioned was the Alster, the main lake is it? I don't know. Do they call it a lake? But see it? It's a riverway. It leads to all the canals, and you can do trips if you go out there. You can do trips around here, or trips from there, which take you all through the canals through Hamburg. There's many of them. Look how clear. Look how I can't stop mentioning it. Look how free the roads are. No parking. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've tried to give it a bit of a description to describe it. Yeah, I've been on one of these boats. When the guy driving the boat realised I was English, he took the mickey. He said, all the British people out here, they listen to BBC only. And if they say London is raining, then they all come out in umbrellas, but in Hamburg the sun's shining. And he was having a good old riptide about that. So Germans do have a kind of sense of humour, strange sense of humour. Yeah, that's their Christmas tree. That lake freezes up in the winter, and you get ice skaters on there. And you get imbeciles selling sausages and all sorts on there. It freezes up. That's how cold it gets in Germany. And you can walk on there. Amazing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if so, why not take a trip out there yourself? I think you'll enjoy it as much as I did. And that was 1992, so it's probably even better today, because they're always improving. Anyway, last shot, Fernsey Tower. So, with that, I'll just say bye for now. See you next time.